The pre-dawn light, a soft, hesitant gray, filtered through the blinds of Mary Thorne's apartment, painting stripes across the meticulously organized living room. Even in the dimness, the space radiated a sense of warmth, a testament to the love that filled it, despite its modest size. The cheerful melody of Little Explorers, Luna's favorite educational program, drifted from the small television, a counterpoint to the quiet hum of Mary's concentration. Mary, her dark hair pulled back, in a practical ponytail, knelt on the floor, balancing a plate of scrambled eggs in one hand and her tablet in the other. Her suit, a charcoal gray that had seen better days, was already impeccably donned, a symbol of the relentless balancing act that defined her life. She was a junior accountant, yes, but also a single mother, a warrior in sensible heels, fighting a daily battle against time and dwindling resources. "Mommy," Luna chirped, her tiny hand reaching out to touch the screen of the tablet, where columns of numbers danced. "What are those?" Mary smiled, a flash of genuine joy that momentarily erased the faint lines of fatigue around her eyes. "These, my sweet pea, are numbers, and Mommy's making sure they all hug each other properly. See? If this number is too big and this one is too small, they can't be friends. We need to make them just right." Luna, all of 3 years old, nodded with the solemnity of a seasoned scholar. Her eyes, a startling shade of hazel, the same as Mary's, held an unusual depth, a knowing that often surprised and sometimes unnerved Mary. She watched as Luna, captivated by the colorful shapes on the television screen, suddenly pointed a chubby finger at Mary's face. "Mommy sad?" she asked, her brow furrowed with concern. "Luna, hug make it better?" Mary's heart clenched. How did she always know? She forced a brighter smile. "Mommy's just a little tired, sweetheart, but you always make everything better." She scooped Luna into a hug, breathing in the sweet scent of her strawberry shampoo, a small anchor in the storm of her life. A silent prayer, a familiar mantra, rose unbidden in her mind. "Please, just let me get through this day. Just let me keep her safe." The Blackwood Financial Building, a gleaming monolith of glass and steel, was a world away from Mary's cozy apartment. Inside, the air buzzed with the energy of ambition, the hushed whispers of deals and deadlines. Mary navigated the polished hallways with practiced ease, her heels clicking a confident rhythm against the marble floor. She received nods of respect, brief smiles from colleagues, a testament to her reputation as a rising star in the accounting department. "Mary, you were brilliant in the Henderson meeting," Sage Winters said, her voice warm and genuine. Sage, a few years older than Mary, with a kind smile and a sharp wit, was a rare ally in the often cutthroat corporate environment. "Saving them millions with that tax strategy. You're a miracle worker." Mary shrugged, a blush creeping up her cheeks. "It was a team effort, really. I just crunched the numbers." Sage chuckled. "Don't be so modest. You're on the fast track, Mary. Just watch out for the sharks. This place is full of them." Mary nodded, a flicker of unease crossing her features. She knew Sage was right. The higher you climbed, the more treacherous the waters became. But she couldn't afford to be intimidated. She needed this job. Luna needed her to success. "Just keep swimming," she thought. "Just keep your head above water." The brightly colored walls of Little Sprouts Montessori were usually a welcome sight, a haven of laughter and learning. Today, however, they were a backdrop to a scene of chaos and despair. Mary arrived to find the school gates locked, official notices plastered across the entrance, declaring an immediate closure due to health code violations. Other parents, their faces a mixture of anger and bewilderment, milled around, their voices rising in a chorus of frustration. Mary's stomach dropped. Her carefully constructed routine, the delicate balance she maintained, was collapsing around her. She pulled out her phone, her hands trembling slightly, and dialed the school director's number. The conversation was brief, strained, and ultimately useless. The director, her voice tight with apology, confirmed the closure, offering no solutions, no alternatives. "I understand this is difficult, Ms. Thorne," the director said, "but our hands are tied. We'll be issuing refunds, of course, refunds." as if that would solve the immediate crisis. Mary hung up, her mind racing. She called her babysitter, Mrs. Rodriguez, the kind, elderly woman who had been a lifeline for the past year. Mrs. Rodriguez, it's Mary Thorne. The school. It's closed. I don't know what I'm gonna do. The reply was another blow, delivered with gentle regret. Oh, Mary dear, I'm so sorry. I was going to call you. I've accepted a full-time position. I won't be able to watch Luna anymore. Mary leaned against the cold metal gate, feeling the world tilt on its axis. No school, no babysitter. And tomorrow, back at her desk, the glow of her computer screen seemed harsh, unforgiving. A reminder flashed in her inbox. Client presentation. Japanese investors. 9:00 a.m. tomorrow. It was a crucial presentation, a chance to showcase her department's work, a potential stepping stone to a much-needed promotion. A promotion that had, just hours ago, seemed like a distant, hopeful possibility. Now, it felt like an insurmountable obstacle. She closed her eyes, the image of Luna's trusting face superimposed on the spreadsheet before her. The silent prayer from the morning returned, this time edged with a raw desperation. Please, please, help me. I don't know what to do. She took a deep, shaky breath, forcing herself to focus. She opened the presentation files, the complex figures blurring before her tired eyes. There has to be a way, she thought. The words, a fragile shield against the rising tide of panic. There has to be a way. The corner office on the top floor of Blackwood Financial was less a workspace and more a monument to control. Floor-to-ceiling windows offered a breathtaking panorama of the city, a sprawling tapestry of human endeavor laid out beneath Kingston. King. Blackwood's gaze. But the view was lost on him. The office itself, a study in minimalist design, was dominated by glass and steel, sharp angles and polished surfaces. It was a space devoid of warmth, reflecting the man who occupied it. King, his suit as impeccably tailored as his schedule, sat at his vast empty desk, reviewing quarterly reports with his executive assistant, a nervous young man named David. King's attention was absolute, his questions laser-focused, cutting through the jargon and pleasantries like a scalpel. He demanded precision, expected perfection, and tolerated nothing less. Sir, the projections for Q3 are exceeding expectations across all sectors, David reported, his voice a touch too eager. King tapped a single long finger on the report, his gaze fixed on a small chart in the corner. Explain the variance in the Southeast region. It's underperforming compared to the national average. By 0.7%, David stammered, flipping through pages, his carefully rehearsed presentation crumbling under King's scrutiny. We believe it's a temporary fluctuation, sir, market volatility. King cut him off with a curt wave of his hand. Belief is irrelevant. Data is everything. Find the cause. Fix it. The assistant retreated, leaving King alone in the sterile silence of his office. He stood and walked to the window, his reflection superimposed on the cityscape. He saw not the vibrant life below, but the ghost of a different office, a different time. The air was thick with cigarette smoke, the room cluttered with overflowing ashtrays, stacks of papers, and the detritus of a life lived on the edge. A younger King, barely out of his teens, stood in the corner, his face a mask of controlled fury. His father, a man whose charm was as boundless as his self-destruction, was on the phone, his voice booming with false confidence. Guaranteed. Return, I tell you. This is a sure thing. I need 50,000 by Friday. Don't you worry, I've got a system. This time it's different. Young King watched, his fists clenched, the shame burning in his gut. He knew the system was a lie, a desperate attempt to chase losses fueled by his father's insatiable gambling addiction. He knew it would end badly, as it always did. King blinked, the memory receding, leaving behind a residue of bitterness and a steely resolve. He had built Blackwood Financial from the ashes of his father's failure, brick by painstaking brick. He had vowed to create a fortress of stability, a place where recklessness and emotion had no place. He would never be like his father. His phone buzzed. a text message illuminating the screen. Dad? Lunch?